Moving abroad can be and is a great experience.
But what some people don't tell you is that there can be a dark side to being an expat. But don't worry, we'll help prepare you by telling you our experience. Welcome back. I'm Geoff.
And I'm Alex. And we're two Americans who've been living in Germany for over 10 years, and we're here to tell you exactly what it's like.
But first, go ahead and hit subscribe down below. And if you can, buy the like button a bottle of Freelance Spirits. It's his daughter's birthday.
Oh, another one. Great. So today we want to talk to you about, you see on Instagram all the time people moving abroad, how amazing it is, what a great time you can have. And all of these things are true or can be true, but it's not always the case. Not everything is daisies and rainbows and Lucky Charms,
Yeah, and sometimes moving abroad and being an expat doesn't work out for some people, and there are reasons behind that. I mean, we've been here long enough that we've seen a lot of people that have kind of fallen by the wayside and went back home for various reasons. And so we're going to go over that now, explain kind of, the negative dark sides of being an expat and how you can work through them and really make the most of living in Germany or living wherever you happen to move, I guess.
But first, whiskey.
Ooh, that's better.
There it is.
Not too bad. All right, let's get back to the dark sides of being an expat. And I think, of course, it all begins in the beginning,
Usually.
You're very excited, and I think you're not really thinking about a lot of the things that we're going to bring up in a moment because you're excited, you're moving to a new country, you're going to see new things.
You're probably Googling the best things about that country, the best food, the best place to visit, the best local bars, the best local places.
Yeah.
And you get really kind of wrapped up in that. And as you should, at the beginning when I moved, I did all of that. But I was lucky enough to have a friend here when I moved. So I had a friend who already lived in Berlin. So she helped me out with a lot of, the situations and the bureaucracy and meeting people. She gave me a good, 2 steps in the door.
Yeah, and it just helps to just have somebody physically there that you know, because you knew her from before, right? So it was her friend from before. So it's a little bit of that kind of security blanket from back home. For sure.
But not everyone's going to have that.
Yeah, for me, my experience moving to Berlin was I didn't know a single soul in the entire city or really in Germany, which I think happens to a lot of people, whether they come here for, a semester abroad or for work or whatever. And so the first thing we're talking about is just kind of that loneliness and depression that can hit you in those first months. The first week or two, you're still a tourist. You're checking out the sites and you're having a good time.
Very exciting.
But once it kind of hits you that you're here for the long haul and you realize you've left your family and your friends behind, you look around and you haven't made new friends yet. You don't know where to begin, and you're on your own for many hours of the day, sometimes the whole day. And the weekends come and most people are going out. That weight builds on you over time.
No, for sure. Especially, when you just left all your friends, you left all your family, and that initial excitement wears off after a bit, like you said, after being a tourist. And then who are the people you need right now? You need your friends, you need your family. So those first, even when I knew someone, I still felt that way. So that is definitely the first real downside. And you really can't fix it unless you made some friends. That's the only way to fix this. You have to go out, put yourself out there, be uncomfortable, and trying to meet some people. Even if, they're your friends for the first 6 months, you might meet new friends that will be your friends forever. You never know.
Do meetups, go in a Facebook group, say, hey, who wants to go see a movie? Who wants to go do this? Make sure and show up with a shared apartment, a WG as they call it in German, not your own apartment. So at least you have those 2 or 3 people as who can introduce you to new people, and maybe the friends they introduce you will become proper friends. It's good in the beginning to have people that aren't necessarily your best friends, but just good to have somebody there.
Misery loves company.
To get a beer with, to go to the park with, helps your self-esteem and boosts your confidence a lot.
For sure. I think also a really good way is German classes, language lesson classes. I met a really good friend of mine my first year here for my German class, and we're still friends to this day. You're in a group of, 10, 15, 20 people, all with the same goal. And at the end, you want to go hang out for a bit and make a friend.
Yeah, and also the German class helps with one of the other major causes of depression, which is the feeling of isolation you get by being in this environment where you don't understand what the signs mean. You don't, walking down the street, you don't understand what people are saying. You're at a restaurant, the waiter's looking at you, talking to you, and you don't, and it's this constant feeling apart, feeling disconnected. So learning the language, which again takes a long time, but at least that little bits in the beginning, I know what they say, and trust me, just knowing a few words, just knowing generally what people are talking about
100%. You really don't realize what you take for granted until all those things are gone. Like reading a street sign, understanding what the word for butter is, and a personal experience, I'll tell you, it's not pig lard.
Oh yeah, he did make that mistake. So
I made that mistake.
Funny enough, butter in German is butter. It's Butter. But it's spelled exactly the same. So he has no excuse for...
No, I don't. So that, that's difficult. The friends, family, I think are the two biggest things. But of course, another one, which we talked about in another video, is getting the visa. That lack of security, not knowing how long you can stay for, and if you will get another visa again.
Yeah, because wherever you live in the US, you live in China, you live in the UK, every day you wake up, you're fine. At no point somebody's going to knock on your door, deport you, get rid of you. Like you're set because you're a citizen, everything's fine. But when you live abroad, you have this kind of constant feeling of an anvil above your head, you know, because you don't have the right to be there. What you have is, it's a privilege. It's not a right.
The allowance.
Yeah, the allowance. So you're always worried about like, oh my God, did I file my taxes right? If I don't, I'm gonna be deported. Oh my God, did I do the visa appointment right? Will they say yes? It's these things that you don't think about. It's fine. We're taken care of. We're citizens. There's no way that we can be booted out.
Of course, and your imagination starts to run wild, like you said. Like, oh my gosh, I jaywalked a little bit. Are they gonna deport me? Or I didn't tie my shoe right. Are they gonna deport me? So those things, like everything you can do, you think, are they gonna deport me? So you gotta be, a model A-class citizen.
Yeah. And personally, I have experience with that because I had one time where I was arrested in Germany falsely for something I didn't do, and eventually it was cleared up.
Everyone says they were falsely accused, Geoff.
If this is on my record, I will not get my visa renewed. My life here's over. And I'd already been living here at that time 7 or 8 years, and so I'd already established a life. So there's these things that you don't think about. Like there aren't as serious consequences back wherever you're from.
Yeah, no, for sure. And another big one that I think really affects you, and this will never change no matter what, is, the miss. You're going to miss your friends and family back home. And every time you go visit, you notice them getting a little older, or they're just different, and they're not how you remember them, or they look different, and
you look different to them.
And you look different to them, and you have someone to talk about, and every visit's kind of like a short little snippet, like a little TikTok reel of what should be, a year, and trying to put that year into those few days you have or week that you have together.
Yeah.
And I think just that can get really difficult every time you go back to your hometown.
When you're there, everything happens gradually, but when you're both of us, like we usually can only afford going back and have the time off to go back once a year for Christmas or whatever. And a lot happens in a year. Like you go back and suddenly your sister has a baby and she didn't the last time you visited, or people are older and big things happen in your life. But luckily with the technology we have now, with Zoom, etc.,
it's never been easier.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine back, but that's still not a replacement for
a hug.
Being the same. Yeah, for a hug. Yeah.
But that that's the price you have to pay. Another thing that I think will never go away as well is the feeling of, I don't think I will ever feel 100% German, like I belong.
Yeah.
Culturally into this society,
or that people, or that others will accept you as 100% German. Yeah,
exactly. I feel like I've learned a lot of German culture. I get jokes, I understand some celebrities, whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm not German, and I'm not saying I necessarily want to be part of that culture, like 100% in, because I still, have my own heritage,
sure,
and our own things going on. But you always feel like an outsider, especially when you go to like smaller areas, where you kind of feel like you kind of stick out like a sore thumb, for sure.
Yeah, in Berlin, you feel more integrated.
Yeah.
But when you go to a small Dorf or a German village, it's immediately like, oh, there's the American, look at them,
Right.
And that reminds you, oh, right, I'm still this outside, I'm not meant to be here. It kind of a thing, like, in a way.
Even though everyone's meant to be here.
Yeah.
But you do get that feeling, and that can be tough. It's not the worst thing in the world. I kind of just try to own it. Like, yeah, man.
Yeah, you make your own
out here.
Yeah, we have our own identity. Like, it's a mixture of German and American.
Yeah.
And you just own it and you enjoy it and you just accept, I will never be German, and be okay with it. And you move on.
And all of these are prices, you have to pay if you want to live abroad. Is it worth it for you? You decide that for yourself. Can you deal with it? And if you can, great for you. If you can't, then you have to do some soul searching maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of these problems, you can push past. You know, a lot of them are kind of self-inflicted. It's like, I don't even have any friends. Well, you're not getting yourself out there more. And it's trust me, I was there. I'm a shy guy at times. Like it can be very difficult meeting people, but you kind of have to, like you said earlier, put yourself out of your comfort zone.
Yes, always.
A lot.
Oh, for sure.
So you have to get used to that and just push yourself to meet new friends, make a new friend circle, make a friend group. You know the area, you know the language a little bit. Then suddenly you feel just so much better, like all these problems just drift away.
And then at the end, you can be really proud of yourself because you did all of this and you're still there and you made it. So push through it. And if we can do it, I think anyone can do it.
Absolutely. Hey, we're still here.
We're still here. So
you know what else is still here? This whiskey. How'd you like it?
I liked it. I'll give it like a 4 out of 6.
Cool. It's a good bourbon.
It's a good bourbon.
I like it.
So everyone, please stay safe, stay healthy, and
stay thirsty.
Cheers. Moving abroad. Why am I talking like my dad? So.
Could have done without that. I guess do one without the guys.